piggybacking 611, law of sine, is 612, law of cosine. Why do you need both of them? Well, let's tackle. I'm glad you asked that question. So, crazy looking formulas, and you best remember your good friend PEMDAS. Your basics need to be front and center when you're simplifying laws and cosine. There's a lot going on right there. So let's just dive in. As you can see with the law of sine problems, they didn't give us any, they didn't label our drawings. So you have to start by doing that. Which means this is little c, this is little b, this is little a. The instructions are the same. Solve the triangle. Now, if I said, hey, I want to use the law of sine, then I don't have any angles here. So there's no way, if I go sine of A all over A, sine of B all over B, sine of C all over C, if I don't have any of these angles, there's no way I can pick 2 of these fractions and get 3 out of the 4 parts. There's just no way. You can try all day, it's not going to work. So, the great mathematicians we've had discovered the law of cosine. Amazing, if you think about it. So what should we find first? Doesn't matter. We can use any one of these 3. So I'm going to just kind of be alphabetized, and let's find A first, which means use this formula first. Notice, we know A, we know B, we know C. We know B, we know C. The only thing missing in this crazy long formula is angle A. So here we go. We're going to go A squared, I'll show my work here, equals B squared, 11.62 squared. You can see these are going to be calculator specials, plus C squared, 17.75, minus 2 times B, 11.62, times C, 17.75, cosine of angle A. And you're like, whoa, yep, I agree. But it's going to clean up pretty nice. 289 equals 11.62 squared, 135. Basically like right on the nose. It's 135.02. So let's just take it. Take that as a gift. Maybe they did that with all these. 0.75 squared. Yeah, they did. 315.06. Look at that. All right. Minus. Now I'm going to go 2 times 11.62 times 17.75. All right, 412.5. I'm going to round that just a little bit. 412.5. It's 0.51. Cosine of A. Why was I emphasizing PEMDAS so much? If I add these together, here's a very dangerous moment. I'm not going to risk adding those in my head wrong. 135. Sorry, old schoolers. 450 minus 412.5 cosine A. Students all the time, they do so much great math and they get here, and this is what jumps out at them, and they go ahead and they subtract it. But you've got to understand, this is a term right here. It's like 412.5x. So these are not like terms. So we got to get rid of the 450. Get rid of the 450. So 450 taken from 289 gives us negative 161 equals negative 412.5 cosine A. Don't panic. Negative 412.5 gone. Negative 412.5. 2 negatives make a positive. 161 divided by 412.5. 0.39. So I get 0.39 equals cosine of A. This. So now I got to go second cosine, type that in. So second cosine 0.39, enter. And I get 67.04. So 67.04 is just 67. We'll call it good. Now here's the good news. After using that crazy law of cosine, because we had to, now we've got an angle and a side, so we're going to go ahead and use the easier formula, which is the law of sine. And it doesn't matter, we can find angle B first or angle C first. I'm going to find B. So sine of angle B all over 11.62. And here we go. Sine of 67.92. I'm going to multiply that by 11.62 times 11.62. 10.69 equals, go that way, 17 sine B, divide by 17, divide by 17. And I get 0.62, I'll round a little bit, 0.629 equals sine of B. So again, I got to take the inverse sine, so second sine, 0.629. Calculator spits out 38.97. Let's go ahead and say that's 40. Well, 40 and 67 is 107. That means this has to be 73 in order for it to add up to 180. We just solved the triangle. Okay. So, you can see the formula is intimidating because there's so much, but it really boils down pretty simply. Why do we have example 2? Well, there's a little twist here. So I'm going to put in my letters randomly, doesn't matter. That makes this little letter B, that makes this little letter A, and this is my angle C, so this is little letter C. Now if I tried using law of sine, I'd say sine of C over this, sine of B over this, that didn't work, sine of A didn't work. So I know angle C, which is saying let's use this formula right here and hope everything else falls into play here, or see what's missing. So I get C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B. These numbers are a lot easier to use. Cosine of 43 degrees. So notice on this problem we're actually finding a side first. So C squared equals 121 plus 169. I better do this on a calculator. So here we go. Cosine 43 times 22 times 13. So it's minus 209.17. All right. So now C squared equals 121 plus 169 minus 209.17. So I get 80.83. Well, I got to take the square root of these. If I've brainwashed you a little bit, bada boom, bada bing, do the right thing, we don't really need to do that because there's not going to be any negative sides. So now I'm going to take the square root of 80.83 and I get 8.99, which I think the author's kind of wanting us to have whole numbers for this one. So I just got 9. And now we're off to the races because we can use the law of sine. So sine of angle C all over side C. And now I'm going to just find B first, angle B that is, over 13. So I'm going to find out the sine of 43 degrees, 0.682, let's call it 0.68, times 13, 8.86. Equals, go that way, 9 sine B. Divide by 9, divide by 9. And I get 0.985 equals sine of B. Now I got to take this inverse sine. 985, 80, almost on the nose. So angle B is 80. So what's the last thing we got to do? Add this to this. 123, subtract that from 180, 57. And you just solve the triangle using the law of cosine. values. I don't think this is too crazy, even though it kind of initially looks crazy. So good luck on that homework.